संकीर्तने कपित्रो कमलायताक्षो विशंबरो द्विजवरो युगधर्मपालो वंदे जगत्प्रियकरो करुणावतारो। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपीकांत राधाकांत नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। महाबोधे स्थिरे कनकरुचिर नीलशिखरे वसन प्रसदान्त सहज बलभद्रेण बलिना सुभद्रा मध्यस्थ सकल सुर सेवा वसरदो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवतु मे। श्री जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवतु मे। भक्त्या विहीनाय अपराध लक्ष्ये क्षिप्तस्य कामादितरंग मध्ये कृपामयी तं शरणं प्रपन्ना वृंदे नमस्ते चरणारविंदम। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। बोलो हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। वन मोर टाइम। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Bhagavatam explains, Labdva sudurlabhidam bahu sambhavante manusyam arthajam anitya apiha turnam yatetna pated anuvritta yavat. Very uh, beautiful explanation, the values of human life. Two things are very rare according to Srimad Bhagavatam, and whatever Srimad Bhagavatam speaks is truth for all times. We can't say, okay, only on this, in this century or in this age. Whatever Bhagavatam speaks is true for all times. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the only authoritative source which only speaks the truth. Describes about the ultimate truth, the absolute truth, Satyam Param Dhimahi, the absolute truth, Shri Krishna. Bhagavatam explains, Durlam Manusyam Deham Dehinam Shan Bhango Tatrapi Durlam Manne Vaikunt Priya Darshanam. These two verses, and there are many, but the verse which I recited earlier, Labdava Sudurlabhidam Bahu Sambhavante. After wandering in many species of life, one gets human life, which is so rare. 8.4 million species of life. And after going through all this cycle, one get a opportunity to get human birth. Such a rare opportunity. For what? To worship Krishna. Why to worship Krishna? For his benefit? No, for our own benefit. Why I'm saying this? As we all heard, again a very sad news that one of our godbrother, the best Kirtaniya, he also left this world recently. So many shocking news coming to us again, and again. I've heard almost 30 of such news, 25 to 30 news. And whenever I hear this news, it gives me inspiration, or I can say a better understanding of what is the importance of this human life. And whenever I hear this, I remember the words uttered by I remember the words uttered by Shri Yudhishthir Maharaj when he was asked this question from Yaksha. What is the and this question was asked to Yudhishthir Maharaj, and the reply to this, Yudhishthir Maharaj, whatever he replied, is true at all times. We can't say, oh, he said this in Dwapar Yuga, but at all times. The question was asked, what is the greatest wonder of the world? If this question is asked to any politician or to any ordinary person, the answer may vary according to what they think that this is the greatest wonder of the world. But when this question was asked to Yudhishthir Maharaj, who is associate of Krishna, who is Dharmaraj, one who always speaks the truth, he never ever spoke lies in his life. Even when Krishna provoked him, or when Krishna asked him to speak lie, Yudhishthir just announced loudly that Ashwathama has died. And Yudhishthir Maharaj, he said, no, I can't. I can't tell lies. Even the absolute truth, Satyam Ratam Satya Param Tri Satyam, non-dual, absolute truth, Shri Krishna ordering Yudhishthir to say this. And Yudhishthir don't want to tell lies, even when Krishna is saying this. So Yudhishthir Maharaj never tell lies. He always speak truth. And his truth is for all times, for all ages. So question was, what is the greatest wonder of the world? Yudhishthir Maharaj replied, Ahani ahani bhutani yamalyam gachanti, shesh thavar ichanti kim ascharyan tatparam bhave. Oh, we are seeing, we are hearing so many of our friends, brothers, sisters, and relatives, they are leaving this world. We are hearing this, we are seeing this, and nowadays we are we are seeing on Facebook. But when the point comes to ask ourselves, let us ask ourselves, do we die one day? We also have to leave this world one day? The answer comes, no. I don't believe that I will die. The answer comes, I don't believe that I will die. It's just people who die. I will never die. You see, that's the greatest wonder. So astonishing. But this is not true that I will not die. I will also die one day. I have to leave this world one day. And if I have to leave this world one day, I know this, then what I'm doing here and how I'm spending my days here in this lodge, in this hotel. Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Goswami Maharaj Ji, he used to give an example. If you traveling some other city or some other country, and you just have to take a room in a hotel or in a lodge for just 2 days, and the room which is given to us, Maharaj Srila Maharaj saying, you find one window, some corner is broken, or the tap is leaking in the kitchen or in the bathroom. So Srila Maharaj used to say, do you call the plumber or the carpenter to come and fix the tap and the window when you have to just stay for 2 days in that hotel or a lodge, whatever it is? By asking this question, he used to say like this, no, because you know you're only going to stay 2 days here. Why have to get bothered calling plumber and carpenter, and why I have to pay to fix this? This is a hotel. I'm just a traveler here. I'm on my journey to some destination. Similarly, Srila Maharaj used to say, similarly, this world, material world, is like also a hotel, or just we can say a lodge where we living for some days, some years, some months, and we are on our journey to our destination. And many things happen in our journey. We should not get bothered about all those things. Rather, we should bother about what is my final destination and how I can achieve that final destination. We should think about that every day and then practice and progress on that path of our respective destination. On the path, on that road, we might see so many scenes. We can see some accidents also. But we don't stop our journey. We just go ahead with our journey. I remember last year I was in Florida. I was there was one sannyasi, he was driving, and we were coming from one program from Orlando to Alachua. And right in front of our car, why I'm repeating this twice? Because it's just about to touch, one car overtook us, about to touch our car, and Maharaj, he applied brake, and this car was running so fast. And right in front of us, we saw this car spin 3-4 times and hit it 2-3 cars, and then hit to one wall, the divider. Oh, we were all shocked. Oh, what is this? An accident. Many people gathered there. We didn't stop. I mean, we stopped for seeing this, but police came, etc. No need to go further details. But we didn't stop our journey because our destination was not to just get to be just there. In the same way, we go through many hard times, many good times, but this is all about journey. We have to focus on our journey, which gives us a lesson. And every day we have to think over this. This human body is given by Bhagwan, not to enjoy like dog and hog, as Rishabdev told to his sons. Naham de de bhajam nirloke kashtam kamam artham vidbhujam. Rishabdev father told his son, Bhagwan has given this body not to enjoy like animals, but tapo divyam putraka, for bhajan, bhajan for Shri Krishna. That's our goal. So, all due respect and obeisances from far distance, we are not there at Govardhan or Vrindavan, but we lost one of our godbrother. My obeisances to him. And also a lesson how to take our life so seriously, every day so seriously. That's why all these festivals come, these auspicious days come to give us an opportunity to work hard, to develop, to cultivate our Krishna consciousness. We are sadhakas, we are practicing this. So we need to work hard on our practices. That's why by the mercy of Krishna, from tomorrow we are going to observe Shri Purushottam month. Very, very auspicious month, which don't fall every year. Purushottam month comes after every 3 years. And since some days I'm speaking on this, how sincerely we have to follow this. Let us hear today, because tomorrow we're going to start Purushottam month. Today is Adivas Divas, means a day before that auspicious day is called Adivas, means the day of preparing ourselves to observe this vrata, to take this vow, to fulfill all the promises. This vow, how to please Krishna in this month. I was reading few articles, and in that, by reading that, it gives so much inspiration that by observing this 1 month very sincerely and honestly, worshipping, praising Krishna, one can get rid of all the sins and even offenses, aparad, dham aparad, nam aparad, Vaishnava aparad, by remembering and serving Vaishnavas, seva aparad, all offenses which we are doing every day, knowingly, unknowingly, intentionally, unintentionally. All these offenses get destroyed, totally destroyed, if someone pray in this holy month, Purushottam month, to Bhagwan Purushottam Shri Krishna. So, such a great opportunity we have from tomorrow, and we have to be very sincere following this. What is the glories of Shri Purushottam month? I don't want to say anything from my own, because we don't have anything to say from our own. Let us take shelter of the lotus feet of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Satchidanand Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He wrote this article describing the glories of Shri Purushottam month. And let's see what I'm going to just read this article, directly hearing from him. What is the meaning? What is the importance of Srila Purushottam, Shri Purushottam month? So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur started explaining. two divisions of Shastra, Smarth and Parmarth. The scriptures are divided into two divisions, Smarth and Parmarth. Samarth people, they give so much importance to pious activities and they get always involved in pious activities, impious activities. That's all. They have nothing to do with Parmarth. That's why we see all these Hindu temples and all. They always focus on uh, performing pious activities, and their goal of life is to only attain Swarga. That's all. That's why they're not fixed on one. They switch over to all demigods. Their worship is not focused on one. So let's see what Bhakti Thakur says. The Vedic Arya Shastras are divided into two sections. Smarth means literature based on Smriti, and Parmarth, transcendental literature based on Shruti. Okay, we don't follow Smarth, we follow Parmarth Vidhi, literature which are based on Shruti. Those who are eligible for the Smarth section do not have any natural inclination or taste for the Parmarth Shastras. Those who are Smarth, they have no inclination to follow bhakti, to follow devotion, which is called as Parmarth. That's why there is always some quarrel whenever we get the chance to speak in any Hindu temple, any Sanatan Dharma mandir. The Pandits, the Brahmins there, they don't understand the importance of Parmarth, and there is always some quarrel because their line is different and our line is different. Our line is only to please Krishna, and their line is only pious activities to get Swarga. The thoughts, principles, activities, and life goal of every human is constituted according to his respective ruchi, which is called inclination. Generally, smartas accept those scriptures which are in accordance with their respective ruchi. Smartas, they only follow those scriptures which is they're inclined for those scriptures which are only showing their smart vichar, the thoughts of smart. Therefore, they don't give importance to Parmarth vichar. So, who created these two lines? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Providence is the agent behind the creation of these two divisions. It is by the desire of Providence. Therefore, undoubtedly, the maintainer of the world must have a hidden purpose in having made such an arrangement. The maintainer of the world means Bhagwan. He has some purpose, and that's why he created two divisions. So you will see devotees, they have no taste for following smart vidhi, smart vichar, no taste. But those who are following smart, they have no taste for devotion, bhakti. It's natural. It's natural. Adhimas means extra month, also called as Malmas, impure month, is devoid of all auspicious activities. By dividing the whole year in 12 parts, the smart Shastras have ascertained the auspicious religious activities for these 12 months. All the karma, I'm speaking very simple and very slow so that translators can take it easy to translate. All the karma, religious activities which are part of Varnashram system when allotted to the 12 months, leave the extra month, Adhimas, devoid of any such activities. There is no religious performance in Adhimas. So this Purushottam month, starting tomorrow, 30 days, no religious activity, no pious activities are performed in this month. Therefore, those who are smarters, they say this month is Malmas. Malmas means contaminated. This month is contaminated. Therefore, no marriages, no other such kind of occasions happen in this month. No pious activities. In order to keep lunar months and solar months in tally, 1 month has to be excluded every 32 months, because solar system and lunar system. Now this is calculation. You want to hear calculation? If you want to know calculation, okay. According to Surya Siddhant, there are two kinds of Siddhant. Surya and means sun and moon. Now this is little technical, but if you want to write down, or if you can read in the article, you can read there. There is Surya Siddhant. That means one solar month is 30 days, whereas one lunar month is of 29.5 days. Okay, we just see, okay, there are 24 hours in a day, and in a month there is 30 days or 31 days. But this calculation, astrological calculation, is done with solar system and lunar system. Means sun, the movement of sun and movement of moon. According to the movement of sun, the solar month is 30 days, whereas lunar month is 29.5 days. This means that in 1 month, there is a difference of half a day between lunar month and solar month. There's a difference of half day in every month. And in 12 months, the difference is 6 days. Right? If 1 month have a difference of 6 days, no, half day, that means 12 months means 6 days difference in 1 year. This is one point. Another point is, according to the solar calendar, 12 solar months is equal to 360 days. According to solar calendar, following Surya Siddhanta, 12 solar months is equal to 360 days, not 365 days. 360 days. However, the Earth completes its rotation around the Sun in 365 days and 6 hours. Scientists, they claim they know so much. Our acharyas, astrologers, they have perfect calculation. The solar month is 360 days a year, whereas Earth completes its rotation around the Sun. Earth goes around the Sun in 365 days and 6 hours. So if we ask question, how many days in a year? We say 365 days. But actually it is 365 days and 6 hours. Thus, there are 5 extra days and 6 hours. The difference, the solar system and The Earth moving around Sun. How much difference? 6 days, uh, 5 days, and 6 hours. So that means that means in 1 year, how much is the difference? According to Surya Siddhant, we heard earlier. Understand? There was half-day difference in every month, and in 1 year, 6 days difference. Surya Siddhant. From other perspective, 360 days a year, but Earth goes around its rotation to Sun, rotating Sun, is 365 days and 6 hours. That means 5 extra days. So 6 days plus 5 days. How many? 11 days plus 6 hours. That's a difference. That's the difference. 11 days and 6 hours. This is extra in one solar year. That means 22 days plus 12 hours extra in 2 solar years. And that means 30 days extra. That means 30 days extra in 2 hours. Sorry. That means 30 days extra in 2 years, 8 months, 16 days, and 4 hours of the solar calendar. 2 years, 8 months, 16 days, and 4 hours. So efficient calculation of the solar calendar. This is extra. Thus, there is an extra month, a gap between the calculation by lunar month and by solar month. Scientists, they don't know. They only follow one system. But our Acharya's calculation is according to the sun and according to the moon calculation. And so perfect. Each and every hour is counted here. Understand? So in 2 years, 8 months, 16 days, and 4 hours. So specific. One extra month. So a gap between calculation by lunar month and solar month. In order to bring both months into equilibrium, 1 month would have to be subtracted. 1 month would have to be subtracted in every 2 years, 8 months, 16 days, and 4 hours to maintain the balance. To maintain the balance of this difference, this gap, 1 month is extra. This 1 month is called Purushottam month, or in English they say leap year. In English they say leap year. The name of that month is Adhimas. Adhimas means extra month, according to this calculation. Smarters have discarded this extra month, considering it abominable. Oh, they say this is contamination, malmas, impure, extra. So they don't give regard to this, and that's why they don't perform any pious activities in this month. They gave it names such as Malmas, means impure month, Chormas, means thieving month, and so on. From the perspective of Paramartha Shastra, Adhimas is superior and advantageous for Hari Bhajan. Now, according to the devotee section, our acharyas, how they have to take this extra month, how they are telling us to take this extra month. So he's saying, on the other hand, The most worshipable Paramarth Shastra acclaims Adhimas as the most outstanding month for transcendental activities. You understand the point? Smartas, they're saying this is contamination, impure month. Oh, we don't regard this. But for devotees, for transcendental activities, that's the best month. Since life in this world is temporary, as we were discussing earlier, it is not proper to spend any part of one's life meaninglessly. What is the meaning of the life? I don't know. Or many other meanings. But that's all meaningless. It is imperative for the jiva to remain continuously engaged in Hari Bhajan at every moment. Thus, the Adhimas means the extra month, which comes every third year, may also become useful for Hari Bhajan. It becomes useful for only and only Hari Bhajan. There is no other functioning in this month. This is indeed the deep meaning of Paramarth Shastras. Even though karmis perceive this month to be devoid of all auspicious activities, all those karmis, non-devotees, materialistic person, only object is enjoyment, enjoyment, and enjoyment. Eat, drink, and be merry. That's all. Gurudev used to say this. They perceive this month to be devoid of all auspicious activities. No auspicious activities takes place in this month. For the deliverance of all jivas, Paramarth Shastra, on the other hand, has ascertained that period as the most conducive for Hari Bhajan. For the devotees, most conducive for Hari Bhajan. Paramarth Shastras, devotional Shastras, says, Hey Jiva, during this Adhimas, why should you remain lazy in Hari Bhajan? No laziness in this month. No laziness. Why you remain lazy in Hari Bhajan? Srimad Goloknath himself has ascertained that this month is the best of all. Who has ascertained this? Goloknath, the Lord of Golok Vrindavan. Who is that Lord of Golok Vrindavan? Golok eva nivasatim akhil atma bhuto govindam adi purusham tamam bhajami. One who resides in Golok Vrindavan in spiritual world. He is the Lord of Golok. So Shri Goloknath ascertained, he himself has ascertained that this month is the best of all. He is saying this. It is superior even to the greatly pious months of Kartik, Magh, and Vishak. It is even superior than Kartik month. Srila Bhakti Thakur is writing. And Magh Mas and Vishak Mas, which are also very auspicious. In this month, you should perform Archan of Shri Radha Krishna with special rules or moods for bhajan. You will thereby attain all types of perfection. So, Krishna, the Lord of Golok Vrindavan, he is ascertaining this. He is telling us this. He is suggesting us, ordering us, advising us. We should do Archan of Radha Krishna. When we say Archan of Radha Krishna means surrender. No. Serve with all paraphernalia, whatever we have, the service of Radha Krishna. I will only eat prasad in this month, not anything which is not offered to Krishna. I will get up early in the morning in this month, only to please Krishna. I will chant my mantras very sincerely and Mahamantra very sincerely, only to please Krishna. I will eat grains once a day only for the pleasure of Krishna. Or whatever was one want to take, vrata one wants to take according to their respective ashrams. to please Krishna and thereby attain all types of perfection. The history and glories of Adimas and how it received the name Purushottam. Okay, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explaining why this month got the name Purushottam month. What is the history? The glories of Adimas are mentioned in the 31st chapter of Naradiya Puran. Adimas considered the sovereignty of the 12 months and saw that he was being slighted. He went to Vaikuntha. So, Adhik Mas, this extra month, Purushottam month, he felt I'm getting disregarded. No one is respecting me. No one is worshipping me. No one is, you know, giving respect to me. I'm known as discarded month, impure month. So he went to Vaikuntha and related his dilemma to Sri Narayan. Out of compassion, Vaikuntapati means Narayan. He took Adimas, this extra month, with him and appeared before Sri Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. See, the glorious Lord Narayan. He took this extra month to Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. This shows who is superior. Who is Lord Narayan? Lord Narayan is Vilas Vigraha of Shri Krishna. But who is Swayam Bhagwan? Swayam Bhagwan is Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Only Shri Krishna is Swayam Bhagwan. So all others are his part and parcel. Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Ete chas kalapumsam Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. After hearing about the distress of this impure extra month, Shri Krishna's heart melted and he spoke. Krishna's heart melted. Oh, you came with a request. You came with so sad mood. Heart of Krishna melted. And Krishna said, Aham eter yatha loke prathitaha purushottamah tatyam api lokeshu prathita purushottamah asmai samarpita sarvaye gunamayi samstita mad sadrishyam upagamaya masam adipoh bhavet jagat pujyo jagat vandayo masoyam tu bhavishyati sarve masa sakamas cha nishkamo ayam maya krita akamo sarvakamo ya yo adimasam prapujyet कर्माणि भस्मत् कृत्वा मम एव श्यति अस्मस्यम् कदाचिन् मम भक्तन् अपराध वेति गण्यते पुरुषोत्तम भक्तनां नापराध कदाचन या तस्मिन् महा मूढ़ जप दंडी वर्जिता सत्कर्म स्नान रहिता देव तीर्थ द्विज दुषा जयन्ते दुर्भगा दुष्टा पर भाग्योपजयनवा न कदाचित् सुखम तेषम स्वप्ने अपि शश श्रृंगवाद. So, see now Krishna is speaking to Vaikuntapati, means to Narayan. What Krishna is saying, Narayan? Hey Ramapati. Krishna is saying, oh, the husband of Lakshmi. Just as I am celebrated in this world by the name Purushottam, similarly, this Adimas too will be renowned in the world by the name Purushottam. I explained earlier, the name Purushottam is the best amongst all the Purushas. Narayan is also Purusha. Three Purusha avatars, Mahavishnu, Karundakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay Vishnu. They are Purushas. But Krishna is Purushottam, the best of all the Purushas. Krishna saying, just like I am celebrated in this world, I am known in this world by the name Purushottam. Similarly, this Adimas too will be renowned in the world by the name Purushottam. Now I offer all qualities to this one. Krishna is saying, I offer all my qualities to this month. I infuse all my qualities to this month. I assign all my qualities to this month. Becoming like me from today onwards. This Adhimas is the monarch of all other months and is the most worshipable and most adored in the world. This extra month, who was rejected because the name of the month, we only know January, February, March, April, May, June. We know these English words, but there are also Hindi. There are also names of every month. Madhav Mas, Janardhan, Madhusudan, all these names. So this month is known by the name of Krishna, Purushottam, and that's why all qualities of Krishna also present in this month. In other words, this whole month is Krishna month. How many suns are there in the sky? How many suns? How many suns? Everyone will say one sun. There are 12 suns. Every month is a different sun. Every month is a different sun. So Dwadash means 12 sun. In Vrindavan, there's a raised platform called Dwadash Tila. When Krishna jumped into Jamuna to chastise Kalia, and after chastising Kalia, when Krishna came out from Jamuna, he was shivering. So cold. I was so many hours in water, feeling so cold. And then Suryadev, he got this opportunity to serve Krishna. And Surya means sun, applied all his energy to give warmth to Krishna. But one sun, one Surya was not enough. Everyone wants to serve Krishna. The moon wants to serve Krishna. The wind wants to serve Krishna. The rivers want to serve Krishna. Everyone. So sun, all these 12 suns have desire to serve Krishna, and that's why Krishna displays this pastime. That I'm shivering. How can Krishna shiver? How can he feel cold? He's always lying in the casual ocean. He's always sleeping in that ocean. There he never says, I'm shivering here. And just for few minutes, few hours in the water, and he came out saying, I'm shivering. In Jagannath Puri, Lord Jagannath is bathed once a year, only with 108 pots. 108 pots. Once a year he gets bathed. And after that he gets sick for 21 days. Because he getting bath. Public bathing in front of everyone. So this is just like play of Krishna, playful pastime of Krishna. So similarly, when Krishna came out from water, suns have desire, all the suns, Dwadash, 12 suns have desire to serve Krishna. So Dwadash Tila, where 12 suns came and gave their all warmth to Krishna. And then Krishna sweat. He got sweating there. And then this sweating of Krishna also became a holy place. So Swakan Tirtha. See? So there are 12 suns in 12 months. And now this is extra month. So where the 13th sun will come from? Where the 13th month will come from? 13th moon will come from. That's why from tomorrow onwards, when we see sun, this is not the regular 12 suns. Understand? Who is the sun in this month? Krishna. Who is the moon in this month? Krishna. The breeze, direction, everything is Krishna. Because this is extra month and Krishna claims this is my month and my qualities, my all qualities are present in this month. So he is the ruler of this month. He is the object of worship of this month. Everything is Krishna in this month. That's why we have to become Krishnized in this month. We have to make our senses, our thoughts Krishnized in this month. So when you see sun tomorrow, I'm saying about 17th September from my time zone. So when you see sun, remember this is Krishna. He's Krishna. When you see moon, it's Krishna. Offer obeisances. As Brahm Samhita says, Yat chakshur esha savita sakal grihanam raja samast murti ashesha tejaha yasya agya samvritta kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamam bhajami. Paying obeisance to sun, paying obeisance to moon, because they are all Krishna. Okay. So Krishna said, I offer all my qualities to this month. That means Krishna is the ruler of this month. Becoming like me from today onwards, this Adhimas is the monarch of all other months. This month, Purushottam, is the king of all other months because Krishna is the predominant deity of this month. All the months are sakam, that is, they will grant worldly desires. Krishna is saying this. So when you're hearing this, when we speak this or hear this, we should keep in mind what is the context, what's the dialogue going on, who's saying to whom. Krishna is saying this to Lord Narayan, explaining the importance of this month from his own lotus lips. All other months are sakam. Sakam means they will grant worldly desires. But this month, however, is nishkam. Those who worship this month, either without any desire or with all type of desires, will have all their karmas burnt. All the previous karmas, impressions get burned to ashes. Sakam or nishkam, any kind of person following this, get all karmas burned. Then they will achieve me. Because unless we get destroyed all our karmas, we have to come again and again in this lifetime. As you sow, you shall reap. Whatever we are doing, we have to go through the reactions, positive or negative. So imagine such a great opportunity to destroy all the karmic reactions. Because Krishna said, when all these karmic reactions nullify, then one comes to me. One attains me. One achieves me. My bhaktas sometimes commit offenses. Krishna is saying, my devotees sometimes commit offenses. But in this Purushottam month, they will be protected from committing any offense. They will be protected. Who is their protector? Krishna himself will protect from offenses. But on the point of sincerity. Sincerity. In following all attempts, all endeavors to please Krishna. And Krishna acknowledged that sincerity and he will reward accordingly. In this Adhimas, those greatly foolish persons who neglect to perform auspicious activities such as jap, giving in charity, visiting and bathing at holy places, and who are envious of Brahmins are deemed wicked, unfortunate, and living at the cost of others. foolish person neglect to perform activities like chanting, giving in charity, visiting and bathing at holy places, and who are envious of Brahmins or devotees are most unfortunate and living at the cost of others. That means in other words, Krishna is saying one should involve oneself in chanting, japa, giving charity. Oh, this month is very auspicious for charity. That's why many people they give charity as much as they can according to their capacity. They also visit and bathing at holy places. So many devotees now it is very difficult time worldwide. Otherwise, in regular circumstance, all devotees they either stay 1 month in Purushottam Kshetra, means Jagannath Puri, or they come and stay in Vrindavan, Mathura, or Mayapur Navdeep Dham. 1 month. I've seen many times. I was in Vrindavan. What to speak of brahmachari sannyasis, even grasthas, householders. They used to come 1 month, taking leave from their work. They used to come and observe Purushottam month. And I used to speak morning and evening Harikatha in Vrindavan temple, in our Vrindavan Math, singing Ashtakams. So they observe all temple programs from morning Mangalarti till evening Arati and Harikatha. And they take bath in Jamuna, go all around temples, have darshan, and also in Jagannath Puri. They come and observe this to get the maximum benefit from this month. And in the last, when the month is over, then they used to arrange feast for all the Vaishnava. It's called Vaishnav Seva. I'm remembering all these days. They arrange feast for all, serving all the Vaishnavas. That's the system. When we do any yajna, or when we take any vrata, any vow, after that, we have to serve Vaishnavas with Krishna's prasad and give some charity, means donation. So they used to give cloth, they used to give money, and so on. Taking bath in Jamuna. Every day, worshipping Jamuna and taking bath in Jamuna. Thus, they will not attain a scent of happiness even in their dreams. Who? Those who disregard this. They not attain a scent of happiness even in their dreams. Conversely, those who are filled with bhakti will take advantage of this Purushottam month to perform archan to me. Krishna is saying this. After enjoying worldly happiness such as wealth, sons, and so on, they will eventually attain residence in Golok. One who follows this Purushottam month gets his residence, gets his PR, permanent residence. Where? In Golok Vrindavan. So it's almost time. Okay, just 5 more minutes. The glories of Purushottam month in the context of Draupadi's history. Draupadi, wife of Pandavas. What is she has to do with Purushottam month? So there is a history. Many episodes from the Puranas are narrated in the context of the glories of Purushottam month. All Puranas are full of glories of Purushottam month. One such example is Draupadi. In her previous life, she was the daughter of Medha Rishi. Now this is a history of Draupadi. In her previous life, she was daughter of one Rishi called Medha. Even after hearing of the glories of Purushottam month from Durvasa Rishi, she heard the glories of Purushottam month from Durvasa Rishi. She neglected to observe that month. As a result, she attained many sufferings in that life and became the wife of 5 husbands in her birth as Draupadi. You see, Draupadi has to go through so much problem. Getting naked in the assembly, with all these kings sitting there, seniors are sitting there, and Dushasan, who had so much strength, he dragged Draupadi. Dragged. She was not even wearing enough or proper clothes. And he dragged out. So they used to wear cloths. Draupadi, chaste, they always used to wear cloths covering all body. Why? Because for the devotees, everything belongs to Krishna. When we say everything belongs to Krishna, means my body, my words, my thoughts, my mind, everything is of Krishna. May no one else can enjoy this body. So that means if Krishna is the only enjoyer, they cover the whole body, because even sun or moon or any subtle beings, demigods, etc., should not see my body, therefore covering the body. But Dushasan, he dragged Draupadi when she was not even wearing enough clothes to cover her body, and dragged all the way to the assembly and pulling out her sari. So she has to go through all this suffering, and then in the forest, and there are many others. And not only that, she became the wife of 5 husbands in her birth as Draupadi. Why? Why? Because in previous life, in her previous life, she heard the glories of Purushottam month from Durvasa Rishi, but she neglected to observe that month. After hearing so much glories, neglecting, they are always exaggerating. They're always speaking about this. I don't believe this. Or there is nothing like that. And there is same sun, same moon. We should follow scientists. They never discovered all these things. Now it's such technology is so advanced, and technically speaking, everyone is so advanced. What are you speaking about all this? What is the evidence? What is the proof? Neglecting the glories of Purushottam. During their exile, the Pandavas followed Shri Krishna's instructions to observe Purushottam Mass Vrat and thus cross over all their suffering. When they were in exile, the Pandavas followed Shri Krishna's instructions to observe Purushottam Mass Vrat. And Pandavas, they followed in the forest. There was 12-year exile, and 1 year is called, how to say this, to keep hidden. If Duryodhan, if he find out where the Pandavas are, and if they see Pandavas, they have to go again for 12 years exile, Agyatavas. So they have to hide themselves for 1 complete year. Understand? So what they did to hide themselves, they can't hide in forest because Duryodhan was sending his soldiers to go and search. And if they're able to find out where Pandavas are, they have to again go through 12-year exile. So Pandavas are very clever. They they disguise themselves as servants to a king. There was a king, very powerful king. Yudhishthir came to the king, changed his cloth, all set up, and he said, King, I'm in some trouble. Give me some job. I want to serve you and your kingdom. Oh, okay. King was compassionate. What can you do? What is your expertise? Yudhishthir Maharaj said, I know very well how to play dice, and I can please you in playing dice game with you. And also, I'm very expert in giving you suggestions. King said, very good. I need someone like this. Okay, I give you employment. Come, and I will give you salary. Said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Folded hands, he accepted this service. Yudhishthir being the king, he has to become a servant of a king because they have to hide themselves. Then Bhim came, also with different cloths and different setups. He said, Sir, O king, O noble king, can you give me some job in your kingdom? I want to serve your palace. I want to serve you. Okay. What you know? What you can do? Said, I'm very good in cooking. Those who know or those who have taste for eating, they also know how to cook nicely. Anyone who have no appetite or anyone who have no taste, oh, whatever it is, just to fill your belly, just eat whatever you get. No specific taste. Bhim, very expert in eating. He wants every hour to eat something, every 30 minutes to eat something. He has so much fire. He's eating so much, eating so much, eating so much. That's why he knows very well how to cook. So he got employment in the palace and is cooking for the king. King was very happy. And then Arjun came. And in that year, Arjun got a curse from Urvashi. Arjun, being the son of Indra, now it's the whole story of Mahabharata, but I'm just giving in short. Arjun got birth from Kunti by the glance of Indra. So Arjun is considered as the son of Indra. Arjun went to heaven, Swargalok, and there Urvashi, the heavenly girl, the best dancer, so beautiful. She pleased Indra with her dances and other services. Urvashi got attracted towards Arjun, seeing his beauty. He's so handsome, very strong, and all good qualities in him. Urvashi approached Arjun to be with along with me. And Arjun said, what you saying, mother? Urvashi said, what you saying, mother? Shame on you. I am proposing you. And you're not accepting my proposal. Everyone is running after me. Arjun said, you please my father Indra. You please Indra. And he's my father. So any woman who please my father is like my mother. Then Urvashi cursed Arjun. She cursed Arjun. Nipunsak? I don't know good English word. Like, even though you are man, you will not be powerful. You'll not be like a man. You're like a unique person. Understand? Yeah. And Arjun got this curse. This is all arrangement of Krishna, because Krishna wants to hide 5 Pandavas for 1 year. So Arjun became like that. And he also came from Swarga, he came to the planet Earth. And he also approached that king. Sir, can you give me some employment? Okay, what you know? He said, I'm very good in dancing. I can teach your daughter the art of dancing because he became a unique person. King said, good, that's good. And he engaged Arjun in making his daughter learn from Arjun. And similarly, Nakul and Sahadev, the other two brothers, also came. They also said, sir, give us some. And King was thinking, why everyone is coming today for employment? What is the matter? Everyone wants to get employment. And they asked Nakul, Sahadev, what you know? They said, we are so expert just by smelling from far distance, just by smelling the urine of horses, we can tell how powerful is the horse and how far he can run, just by smelling the urine. Oh, the king said that. That's something amazing. Okay, you go and take care of my horses. So 5 Pandavas were in the palace serving the king because they want to hide themselves for 1 year. And then Draupadi also came, the wife of Pandavas. Sir, can I also get some service? Now, who are you? And what can you do? She said, I'm very good in arranging different hairstyles, different kind of hairstyles. I'm very expert in that. Okay. Then she became the maid servant of the queen. And in this way, 5 Pandavas, they were hiding. At the end of the month, sorry, at the end of the year, something happened. The Kauravas means Bhishma Pitama, Kripacharya, Dronacharya, Duryodhan, all these great warriors, Karna. Oh, goodness, they were so great warriors. They attacked, they challenged this king for a war. And king, because he's Kshatriya, he accepted that challenge. And he said, I'm also powerful. So king told his son, hey, listen, I'm getting old now. And we got challenged. What shall we do? The son said very proudly, Father, I will go and will fight with Kauravas. They think they know so much the art of fight. We are not less. I have learned so much from many, many sages and experts. I know so much. Don't worry. I will go and accept this challenge. When, with so much proud and angry mood, when he was on his chariot, then Arjun came forward and told the prince, the son of the king, I want to ride your chariot. Because Arjun heard that it's Kauravas, Bhishma, Dronacharya. How this person going to challenge them? He'll be killed there. Okay. Arjun said, Sir, I also know how to drive chariots. I'm very expert in that. And the prince looked at him, You unique person. You only know how to dance. How you know about the chariot? He said, No, I also know. Believe me, sir. And I'll be very much helpful to you. He said, Okay, come. Sit on the chariot and take me to the battlefield. Arjun drove the chariot so fast and so expert, and the prince was so astonished to see what? He's really very expert in driving. On the battlefield, when this prince saw Bhishma, he's sweating. Bhishma? Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karna. Oh, he told Arjun, Hey, my driver, take my chariot back. I don't want to fight. Let's go back. I can't stand here in battlefield. Bhishma? Who's going to fight with Bhishma? No. Arjun said, sit down. You accepted that challenge. You have to fight. No. You have to listen me. Take me. Say, you coward? You're not Kshatriya. You're coward. Don't show your back. He said, but how can I fight with Bhishma and all these great personalities? Arjun said, you sit down and give me a bow and arrow. I will fight. I will fight with them. He said, you know how to use bow and arrow? He said, I know everything. You give me a bow and arrow. And Arjun there, alone, he defeated all of them. He shooted arrows to Bhishma, to all these great personalities. Arjun defeated them and he won. Then Duryodhan came forward. Why I'm saying all the story? This is the point. Duryodhan came forward and said, he must be Arjun. No one in the whole world, the three worlds, can defeat Bhishma. No one. No one can in the whole world can defeat Duryodhan, uh, Dronacharya, Gurudev Dronacharya, Kripacharya. No one. He must be Arjun. So Duryodhan was so happy. Yes, yes, I found them. I found them. He's Arjun. I found them. Now they have to go 12 years in exile. And Arjun also laughed very loudly. Ha, ha, ha. He said, Duryodhan, the 1 year of hiding just ended yesterday. Just ended yesterday. Because of Arjun said, Duryodhan said, it's not possible. It's not possible. Arjun said, yes, because because there was a Purushottam month this year. There was an extra month, Purushottam month, and we observed this Purushottam month. That's why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing that when Pandavas were in exile, they observed this Purushottam month and thus crossed all over their sufferings. As it is said, Evam Sarveshu Tirtheshu Brahmanta Padunandana Purushottam Masaddasya Vratam Cherur Vidhantaha Tadante Rajyam Atulam Avapur Gata Kantakam Purne Chaturdasya Varshe Shri Krishna Kripa Muni. Hey Muni, during the period of their exile, the Pandavas traveled throughout all the holy places, and by the mercy of Shri Krishna, they observed Shri Purushottam Vrata with all rules and regulations. As a result of this, they completed their 14 years of exile without any obstacles and at the end attained an unparalleled kingdom because of observing Purushottam month. So much glories. There are more glories we will hear tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first day of Purushottam month. We will hear these glories tomorrow. Okay. I want to take, because this Purushottam month, extra month, I want to take 5 minutes extra also, because to benefit devotees. I just come across this. Rules for bathing in the month of Purushottam. Very important. There are 3 types of baths as declared by the wise. Bath in the rivers which meet the ocean is the topmost. If there is any river flowing which meets the ocean, that's the best bath. Bath in lakes, ponds, and wells is the second best. Any lake, any pond, or well is the second. And bath in one's home is an ordinary bath. There are 3 types of baths. For one who is observing Shri Purushottam Vrat, after taking bath, he should observe the following. After bathing, one should perform Achman with clean hands. Achman, Om Keshvaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha. One should then make paste of Gopi Chandan clay and wear simple, beautiful, straight Uddapundav tilak on his forehead and marks on the body. That means one should also everyone is supposed to put Dwadash tilak, 12 tilaks. So devotees, you can check with your seniors in your respective countries how to put this Dwadash Tilak for male and female everyone. It's very auspicious. After taking bath, putting this 12 tilak on the body and can write Hare Krishna on the chest, Radhe Radhe, Hari Bol, Gaur Nitai. This marks is a limb of bhakti. This is enough for today. We'll hear more details tomorrow. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Shri Purushottam Mantra ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.